As a reporter, she stared down the barrel of a gun, but her journalism is what led to her personal journey that is the subject of a book called Homeless to the White House. Welcome back, Tess Cacciatore. Nice to have you here. We talked last time about Gwen,
yes.
Your passion, and of course, all the things that you're doing in your life. But this book is really interesting because it's Homeless to the White House. Tell me about the title. How did it come to this?
This book morphed for many years. It took me many years to write it. It took me, obviously, all my life to live it because it goes through the whole journey of my life. It actually started before Gwen was born. And it just is the journey of the homeless to the White House. So as you and I talked, the experience in Congo when it was faced at the barrel of the gun. I was in Congo filming undercover for a man who was running for president of the Congo. And I went in there by myself. I didn't have bodyguards. I hired a driver and a translator, and we were driving around. I had a whole shot list of things to do that captured his life as a documentary, wanting to run for president of the Congo. And I looked up and I was near the presidential monument of the original president. And there was a guard coming at me with a rifle pointed at me. And I said, get out of here.
Wow. I think we need to back up a little bit.
Okay, let's back up.
Let's back up, because how in the world does a person, any journalist, find them? I mean, this is one of those things where you never know where your assignments are going to lead you, because I've been in situations too where I went, how in the world did I end up here? And I'm sure you had that moment right there where that gun was pointing at you. But where did it all start for you?
I've always loved stories. I've been a storyteller, and I love the use of media and technology and cameras and how we can share so many stories and how we can heal through our stories. And so I go back many years of just being behind a camera. And how I got there was social media. I was on Facebook, and this man contacted me and said that he wanted me to do his documentary and help him with his campaign. So
he just randomly picked you?
He said he researched my work and all that.
Wow.
He ended up not being the favorite person in the world, which is why I became homeless. That's where that led to, because I went all through Africa. I went into Congo, I shot with him, I went out to Belgium where he presently lives, and tried to get him to inspire the Eastern Congo, which is where we have a very big humanitarian crisis, and it has been going on for decades, as you know, where coltan is being mined and the women and children are being brutally raped on a daily basis. And I got really passionate about that. So I said, if you become president, will you please change this? And I thought, if little me from Des Moines, Iowa, who lives in Los Angeles as a filmmaker, could go and tell a story that could change history, that could save people's lives, especially the women and children in Eastern Congo, then I felt like I would have accomplished something. Well, he said, not if, but when I become president, I will promise you that I will change those laws. So I went all the way through the journey, went to the other end. He was supposed to pay me a lot of money from the 6 months that I worked for him, and he sent me home with €100. And I came back to Los Angeles, and I had to pretty much give all my stuff away and jump into a void. And I was homeless for about 17 months. I moved 12 times. And it got me close enough to the edge where homelessness is a very big passion for me. I never had to live on the streets. I didn't have the addiction. I had more of the economic tragedy that a lot of people face.
You hit rock bottom, really.
I hit rock bottom. Yeah, I did. And the White House component of it, I got to go and sing on the lawn of the White House several years later, a couple years ago, for a song called We Are One, which was written by David Longoria. And so here I am on the back end of the White House going, what happened here? How did I get here? And in between that, I went to Capitol Hill with Jewish World Watch. I was one of the delegates that went to tell my story and to inspire California senators and congresspeople to change the law, to contact Nancy Shapiro and to be able to change the international laws so there was more stricter restrictions on that area so that there wasn't so much blood coltan and there wasn't so much devastation. There was a little movement in the needle during that time and right after that effort that we all put out. But it's
so many layers here. It's hard. It's really, unless you read the book all the way through, I started to get a sense of that and your life's choices. In fact, on page 123, you say, in my 20s, while most women were hunting for husbands, I was ruling Manhattan. This is the time when all the cocaine and all the big parties at Studio 54, all that.
Yes.
And you made a choice. Tell me about how difficult it was to make that choice.
I don't know if I actually consciously made a choice. I just had my eye on that direction. I've always wanted to. When I was 5 years old, I told my mom I'm going to move to New York and be a dancer.
I'm sure that made her really happy.
I know, from Des Moines, Iowa. I don't even remember how I knew what New York was.
Right.
So when I got to New York, I wasn't looking for the husband. I didn't even know what the MRS degree was until I was well in my 30s. And I'm like, what's an MRS degree? I have no idea. I didn't have that gene in me. I really felt like, and not that I don't believe in marriage and would love that. And, I've had a wonderful relationship. And in my book, you'll see the not so wonderful choices I made. But I just kept marching forward in that passion to tell that story, to change human lives, to make an impact on just one person. And if that, through storytelling and filmmaking, could make a difference. And to be able to share the fact that we need to reveal our stories, and that will, I believe, crack us open to begin the healing. That's why we have the social media campaign called Reveal to Heal.
This is part of why you've got to read this book. This is a terrific read. You'll learn an awful lot. And to reveal yourself the way you have, I congratulate you and commend you for it. I mean, it's really something to behold.
Thank you.
And I wish you continued success. And again, we'll have you back to talk about that, because we want to take some time to really dig into that.
There's so many other layers of the Me Too and how that's cracked open a lot of stories to be shared, and how we can really just be compassionate and passionate for humanity. We have a lot of work to do.
Yes, we do.
And I have faith.
Tess, your last name is one of my favorites, Cacciatore. Tess Cacciatore. The book is called Homeless to the White House. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.